Very good morning, children. So today we'll continue the chapter of friction. Yesterday we studied about the friction is caused due to the irregularities of interlocking or friction is caused due to interlocking of irregularities. Irregularities in the two surfaces. So this is about friction, and for friction to occur there should be always two surfaces. This is must. Okay. So we discussed about pushing a box kept on smooth surface and pushing a for box kept on a little rough surface. Now, the force required to overcome friction at the instant an object starts moving. Suppose this is a box. Okay. This force required to overcome friction. If it starts moving, and it will be in when it starts moving from rest. So this box, when you start pushing, it starts moving from rest, and this measure is static friction. So the force required to overcome friction at the instant an object starts moving from rest is a measure of static friction. When the object start moving instantaneously from rest, so that friction is called static friction because it is at rest. Static is rest. Okay. On the other hand, the force required to keep the object moving with the same speed is a measure of sliding friction. So static friction is required force to overcome friction at an instant an object starts moving from rest. Once the object starts from rest to move, that friction will be called static friction. And when object is kept on moving or made to move continuously, such a friction is called sliding friction. This object is made to move continuously, and that it should be having same speed. Speed should be same. So object moving with same speed is called the measure of sliding friction. Okay, so this is called sliding friction. Now, when the box starts sliding, suppose if this is a box, if it starts sliding, what happens? The contact points on its surface do not get enough time to lock into this contact point of the floor. Actually, in this case, what happens? When the box starts sliding, when this box slides moving, when you start, suppose you assume this is a box. When you start moving, when it is moving, and this object will not get enough time to lock into the contact points of the floor. If this is a floor, this is object. If this is a box, this will not get time to lock to the irregularities of the surface of the floor. So due to that, what happens? The sliding friction is slightly smaller than static friction. So due to this, the sliding friction is smaller than static friction. So sliding friction is smaller than static friction. and you find it somewhat easier to move the box already in the motion. That's why if you try to move a box which is at rest, you find difficult to move it. But if the box is already moving and if you try to move once again, what happens? You feel easier because already the object is in moving position. Okay, so this is about static friction and sliding friction. So static friction is what? The friction required to overcome friction at the instant an object starts moving from rest is a measure of static friction. So once the object which gets to ready to move from rest to motion is called static friction. The force required to keep the object moving. So this object is already moving. So this force required to keep the object moving with the same speed is called sliding friction. Okay. Now, friction, is it necessary for us or not? We use a word called friction, a necessary evil. Friction, a necessary evil. You know what is the meaning of evil? Now we'll have some experiences. Recall now some of your experiences. Is it easier to hold a earthen pot? In Kannada we call gadige. Earthen pot or a glass tumbler? Is it easier to hold earthen pot or glass tumbler? Okay. How? Suppose the outer surface of tumbler is greasy. So this outer surface of tumbler or earthen pot is greasy or has a thin layer of cooking oil or sometimes has a thin layer of cooking oil on it. So these both are having either grease we have put on both or they are having thin layer of cooking oil. Would it become easier or more difficult to hold it? Just think. Would it be easier to hold it or difficult to hold it? Would it be possible to hold the glass at all if there is no friction? If there was no friction, suppose you take a glass which is made up of glass only. If you hold two fingers, only with two fingers you may not be able to hold because it has smooth surface and moreover they applied the what? Grease or cooking oil over layer of cooking oil. So you feel difficult. So this is one instant. You can try with in your room also. Recall also how it is difficult to move on a wet muddy track. There is a wet muddy track. Okay. Or wet marble floor. The marble floor in your home will be wet marble floor. Can you imagine being able to walk at all if there were no friction? Sorry. Can you imagine, was it easier to move without friction? If there was no friction, what would happen? Okay. So if there was no friction, you could not write with pen or pencil if there was no friction. You are holding, I am holding here because even this pen, even though it looks smooth, it has very small irregularities. Little rougher surface will be there, which we cannot feel. Only little we can feel, but we can't see clearly. Okay. When your teacher is writing with chalk on the blackboard, when I am writing with a chalk or pen also, I am having friction. I am holding here, so this hold is nothing. It is a friction between the pen and my hand, fingers. Its rough surface rubs off from chalk particles which stick to the blackboard. So even when we write on the blackboard, what happens there? So chalk is having rough surface. So due to that rough surface, what happens? It allows us to write on the board. Could it happen if there were no friction between the chalk and the board? If there are no friction between the chalk and the board, and it was very difficult to write on the board. And even a nail is fixed in the wall due to the friction. So when you fix a nail also, that also due to friction, because there is smooth layer and two surfaces each other there. If an object start moving, it would never stop if there was no friction. What would happen if the object was moving? If you take bike or car, if there was no friction, if roads, usually roads are, they look like very smooth surface, but in reality, if you go and check whether CC road or a tar road, they all are having small pores, very rough surface, minute rough surface will be there, and even the cars or vehicles, they have treads over that, so they are made rough. Okay. If an object started moving, it would have been never stopped with no friction. If there was no friction, a moving object would never have been stopped. Like ball. If you take a ball and throw on the floor or ground, it would have continuously moving. It would have been continuously motion, not stop only. So because there is a friction between floor and ball of rough surface here, that's why the ball stops. So had there been no friction between the tires of the automobiles and the road, if there was been no friction between tires of the automobiles and the road, if tires of the automobile and between the road, if there was no friction between the tires of automobile and road, they could not be started or stopped or turned to change the direction of motion. If this was condition, this could not have been started or stopped or change the direction of motion if there was no friction. Okay. You could not fix a nail on the wall or tie a knot. You could not fix nail on a wall or tie a knot. Even tying a knot, it would have been not possible without friction. Without friction, no building could be constructed. Without friction, no building could be constructed. On the other hand, friction is an evil too. Friction is evil also. Even friction is, in one way, everywhere friction is useful. But in other side, there is friction which is evil, not good. In what way it is not good for us, we will try to find. It wears out the materials, whether they are screws, ball bearings or soles of shoes. So screws also will wear away. Wear is getting reduced in size. Screws or bearings, we call ball bearings, are present in the wheels, especially wheels of bikes, big vehicles, even bicycles also are having ball bearings. Soles of shoes. So due to continuous use of these screws, ball bearings and all happens, they would wear away. This is one evil. And you must have seen worn out steps of foot over bridges at railway station. And in railway station also you would have seen worn out steps of foot over bridges. When you see the bridges, that steps will be there, no? That railway station bridges have been weared out, reduced in thickness at railway station. So friction also produces heat. You know, friction produces heat. Friction produces heat. How? Vigorously rub your palm together for a few minutes. You take your palm like this, just to move, rub it, feel it, just to feel like this. What happens there? Heat is produced there. So how do you feel? Same way, heat is produced there. When you strike a matchstick against the rough surface, it catches fire. Suppose there is a matchstick. When you take a matchstick and move the stick over the rough layer of the matchbox, what happens there? It catches fire because there is rough surface. So due to that, friction is also sometimes good and bad also. You might have observed that the jar of a mixer becomes hot when it is turned for a few minutes. You know very well. You know, jar of a mixture becomes hot when you try to add something and prepare some dishes, sweets and all. When you put there, when you on the button, and when you check after mixing the materials, what happens there? That becomes hot. You can cite various other examples. Many examples you can get it, in which heat is produced. In fact, when a machine is operated, suppose a machine gets operated. In industry, when a machine starts operating, what happens there? They produce much wastage of energy along with heat. So heat energy, so whatever the heat generated, that will lead to loss of energy. Not only energy is lost here, there will also cause wear and tear of the parts of the machine. Okay. We shall discuss the ways of minimizing friction in next section. Okay. So what we discuss here? First of all, static friction is one, where the force required to overcome friction at the instant an object starts moving from rest will be the static friction. Then sliding friction means the force required to keep the object moving with same speed. The force required to keep the object moving with the same speed. Okay. So sliding friction is lesser than static friction, because even though there is interlocking, very less, this will overcome interlocking and move very quickly or faster. That's why we call sliding friction is bigger than static friction. So friction is good and even evil also. In what way it is good? It is good when if you are able to walk on the floor due to friction. So there is friction between your sole or your feet and floor. Vehicles move on the road because of friction between the tires and the floor. You are able to hold the things because of friction. You are able to write on the board because of the friction. You are able to write with pencil on your book, in your book, due to friction. You are able to fix the nail due to friction. If there was no friction, it would have been very difficult, and there would have been very difficult to lead life also, because suppose a vehicle is standing, if there is no friction, what happens? The vehicle would have been continuously moving. Okay. So friction is also evil, harmful. How it is harmful? It causes wear and tear of the machinery parts and generating heat energy and leading to loss of energy.